I've been kind of carrying the weight of not really wanting to live since I was very young, not really being interested in continuing life in the way that I had been living. Connecting with Nina and investigating this road or this process with the ayahuasca, I've kind of found a new way or new direction to start living. And this process really has put context around the behaviors, the patterns, just the different cycles that we're living in that we're really not aware of and we're repeating daily. And kind of the idea of checking in with the process, sitting with the medicine, and then taking all of the challenges, the lessons, the homework that you get in that ceremony, and then applying it to that next period of time. My body was never a safe place. And I feel most people are like that. My body became a war zone. I could not get up in the morning without having a panic attack. Now, for the first time, I've really found this comfort and this peace and just being in my body. And it's really cool to check in and see how my dependence has changed. The reasons that I would want to have someone else's energy in my space, the need to have that energy because I literally couldn't bear to be alone with my own energy, to now I'm starting to people please with myself. I'm starting.
That's called self-love.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm starting to practice this thing we call self-love. I haven't loving yourself, being at home in your body, being able to exist without that partner. These weren't concepts that I could process. Now, when I am alone or when I get that feeling that I need something, substances have been a big part of my life. I'm starting to see that myself shows up instead of these substances. Now, for the first time in my life, I am learning who I am and not being told who I am. I'm figuring out what I want. And I'm using these tools, and it's really powerful. The only death I fear at this point is going back to living the way that I was, because that seems like the ultimate death. I've been on most of the substances for extended periods of time. Heroin was probably the strongest, or the one that most would identify with dysfunction, or really the bottom, as they say. For me, it's been a really interesting experience. I have been off of the hard drugs. I don't really drink alcohol much anymore. Coffee and cigarettes and cannabis have been kind of my main ones. My experience with the medicine is really that I've just got so much more to work on. And now that I've done it in a way that I've found that self-love, now it's really exciting work. What ayahuasca has done is given me this lens to see these narratives and patterns that were happening all around me that I couldn't recognize. It's almost like a highlighter just went over all of these points of notes and made a cliff notes for my life on the things that I had to change, or I was never going to be satisfied and I was never going to find that joy. By doing the follow-up and the integration work, you're able to take these big lessons and then start weaving them through everything that happens on a daily basis. The therapy is giving you some context in which to view all of these lessons that otherwise are just the ups and the downs. And you really just learn that nothing bad can ever happen. Again, death is for the living. Before I did this, I was ready to die. Now that I've done this, I couldn't imagine dying before I'd done this. So now I'm ready to die in a whole new manner. Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm living for the first time.
What would you say to people who are struggling in their life and they feel also called to this particular plant medicine, the ayahuasca? What would your message be?
Give the process all that it can. Do not do it on your own. Having a coach, having somebody that will ensure that you make it to the point when it clicks is the most important thing, because you will fall off, guaranteed. If you try to do this on your own, you will not make it. Understand that the timeline is not immediate, and you might need to work through some things in order to get to this point. So give yourself grace and time, and trust that you're
Trust
on
the
your way
process.
to healing.
Trust the